This is the story of Showbiz Pizza. The story of Showbiz Pizza is a bit complicated. To properly understand the history, we'll need to focus on three individuals and their respective companies. Nolan Bushnell, founder of Atari, Robert Brock, and owner of several hotel franchises, and Aaron Fechter, founder of Creative Engineering, Inc. The best place to start is probably with Nolan Bushnell and Atari. In 1976, shortly after being acquired by Warner Communications, Atari was looking for a way to make arcades more of a family destination, as up until that point, they'd mostly found adoption in bars and bowling alleys. Bushnell came up with an idea of creating an arcade centered around pizza and entertainment, and from this was born Chuck&Cheese's Pizza Time Theater. The first restaurant was opened in 1977, and on top of pizza and arcade games, also showcased a stage area featuring animatronic characters that came to life and sang music at regular intervals. The concept became an immediate success. By 1978, Bushnell had become disenfranchised with the new Warner management of Atari and used some of his profit from the sale of Atari to buy out the Chuck&Cheese Pizza Time Theater restaurant venture. Almost immediately, Bushnell began looking for franchisees to expand the restaurant and found one in Robert Brock, a wealthy owner of several Holiday Inn hotel franchises. In 1979, Brock signed a multi-million-dollar franchising agreement with Pizza Time Theater Incorporated and expected to open as many as 280 Chuck&Cheese locations across 16 states in the United States. Things were off to a great start, but unfortunately, they wouldn't last long. In late November 1979, Brock heard about another company making animatronic characters, Creative Engineering Incorporated, and traveled to Orlando, Florida to meet Aaron Fechter, their founder. Upon arriving, Brock was surprised to find a company that employed 25 people and created far better animation than what was currently in Pizza Time theaters. This concerned him, in that a competitor could come along and copy the Chuck&Cheese Pizza Time Theater model, but with better animatronic characters. 1 month later, in December of 1979, Brock broke all ties with Bushnell and declared their franchise agreement void. He then signed an agreement with Fechter to create a new corporation, the Showbiz Pizza Place, Inc. Showbiz was to be 80% owned by Brock and 20% by Creative Engineering, the latter of which would be responsible for producing the animatronics used at Showbiz Pizza, the Rock-afire explosion. As one can imagine, this new arrangement didn't sit well with Bushnell, and Chuck&Cheese almost immediately sued Showbiz Pizza. The case would drag on for over 2 years, with Showbiz eventually settling with Chuck&Cheese out of court, agreeing to pay them a share of their profits over the next 10 years. Legal issues aside, the period of 1980 to 1982 was extremely positive for both companies, as they expanded their franchise numbers and continued to outdo each other with regard to customer experience. However, 1983 would prove to be a devastating year for the world of video games. A number of factors, ironically many relating back to Atari, caused the video game crash of 1983, and with it went a significant portion of Bushnell's fortune and resources. This pushed Chuck&Cheese to the brink of solvency, and Showbiz Pizza Place was quick to pounce on the opportunity, buying up the entire company. During the latter half of the 1980s, video games came back into fashion, and things began to stabilize for the combined Showbiz Pizza Chuck&Cheese company. If you find your memories are a bit confused between the two brands, this period is the reason why, as the merging of the two companies brought with it a confusing mix of two corporate brands, from the animatronic sets used in the store, all the way up to the names of the restaurants themselves. Corporate leadership recognized this, and in addition to starting to rebrand under the Showbiz Pizza name, they also looked to bring animatronics development in-house. By 1990, Creative Engineering, Inc. had been completely pushed out from the original arrangement. However, since they owned the rights to the Rock-afire animatronics show, Showbiz began altering their shows to utilize Chuck&Cheese. As Chuck&Cheese began to take shape as the mascot of the company, it made sense to simply rebrand the entire company under that name. By 1992, all Showbiz Pizza Place restaurants had been renamed to Chuck&Cheese. Business continued to grow at the restaurants, and so in 1998, with all stores now unified under Chuck&Cheese brand and everything going well, Showbiz Pizza Time Inc. became Chuck&Cheese Entertainment Inc. This is effectively the end of the name Showbiz Pizza. Chuck&Cheese exists today as the premier family restaurant entertainment center. Despite the hardships faced by a weakened economy, Chuck&Cheese has held strong and continued to be successful. While it seems unlikely that the popularity of arcades from the 1970s and 80s will ever re-emerge, Chuck&Cheese still remains a popular escape for parents who want to grab a bite to eat while letting their kids run around being kids. And what about the men who started it all? After being pushed out by the Showbiz Pizza Corporation, Creative Engineering sold the Rock-afire show to several competitors, but achieved only minor success. With the Rock-afire explosion being only a shadow in Creative's past, Aaron Fector is now involved with an automated karaoke machine called the Star Launcher. Robert Brock passed away in 1998. After leaving Showbiz, he remained active in the hotel business, as well as providing assistance in political campaigns. Nolan Bushnell was left financially crippled after the default of Pizza Time Theater, and spent the next 10 years paying back Merrill Lynch. Just as Bushnell was ready to make a comeback with the influx of the internet explosion in 1995, he was sued by Merrill Lynch over a remaining $500,000. The suit scared away investors from his new project, and Bushnell remained in debt until 1997, losing his house and most of his possessions in the process. Bushnell's most recent company is BrainRush, a company that uses video game technology and educational software, where he's founder, CEO, and chairman. The company was venture capital funded in 2012, so after 40 years, it seems he's come full circle back to the world of video games. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If so, please like and subscribe. Also, make sure to check us out on Smartyflix.com, a new streaming video service that will be dedicated to bringing you entertaining and educational video content. Sign up to be notified when the service launches at Smartyflix.com.